Hi friends, the Scala News is so happy to introduce His Eminence Cardinal Mykola Bychok, CSsR. Yes, you heard me right, CSsR. He is one among us. Your Eminence, we are so happy to have you. The whole Redemptorist family is so happy to welcome you to our midst. We would like to ask you, how do you feel your cardinalship? When the Church says that you are the youngest cardinal of the Catholic Church, how do you feel this responsibility?
I am happy as well to visit Redemptorist congregation, especially here in the General House. This new appointment for special ministry as a cardinal, very important for the Church, but as well is very many responsibility in this appointment. Yes, I'm the youngest one through any 2 and almost 50 cardinals which we have at this time. That's good, but as well many challenges in the future in my ministry, because as you know, cardinal is called first of all to be a good counselor to the Holy Father, and as well maybe to ministry for some dicasteries to which in future I will be appointed, but as well to take a part during the conclave for the election of new Pope.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And the Redemptorist family is so happy to call you Cardinal Mykola Bychok, CSsR. How do you see your vocation to the congregation? And may I ask you, who inspired you to the congregation?
I have received call to be Redemptorist in the beginning of 90s, last century. Father Michael Shevchishin, who was my spiritual father, and he was from old generation of the Redemptorist. He was the confessor of faith. He knew many blessed of our church who were like martyrs. So he passed to me this knowledge of the old Redemptorists, especially from the persecution time, underground church. And as well I had young teacher who was Father Volodymyr Vons from young generation, who showed me what does it mean to be Redemptorist, to preach word of God, especially during the retreats or missions. For that reason, as I shared my expressions a few minutes back, I was the happiest man in the world, because God called me to be a Redemptorist. I fulfilled my vocations, ministering first of all after the ordination in Siberia, in Russia, then back to Ukraine in different ministries. And then I have ministered for 5 years since 2015 until 2020 in Newark, New Jersey, close to Cardinal Joseph Tobin. Just only 3 kilometers were the distance between our churches. And right now, since 2020, I was chosen to be a bishop for Ukrainians, Catholics in Australia, New Zealand and Oceania. And right now, on the 6th of October this year, I was appointed by the Holy Father Francis to be in this College of Cardinals. So I had huge aspiration as a Redemptorist, and actually thanks to this experience, old generation, young generation, it's very strengthened me during my ministry as a bishop, and right now will strengthen me in future as a cardinal.
Your Eminence, thank you so much for saying that you have learned so much from the Redemptorist Conference, which is evident from your medal on the Mother of Perpetual Help. Could you please elaborate a little bit on the medal you are wearing?
So this medal is Panagia, which means All Holy, which means dedicated to Our Lady. I have few Panagias, but this one, the best one for me, because as you know, this is Our Lady, Mother of Perpetual Help. I have received this as a present during my bishop's ordination in 2020. I am wearing this panagia in special occasions. Right now we have special occasions because
Yeah.
I am visiting General House as well during the consistory, and yesterday during the celebration, the Holy Mass together with Pope. So for that reason, Our Lady is close to my heart, and as well Redemptor is close to my heart.
That's very great to hear that, Your Eminence. And Your Eminence, we are so happy and proud to have you here. But we all know that you hail from Ukraine, and Ukraine is going through the toughest situation in its history. So how do you see the situation right now in the country, and how do we respond as Redemptorists?
Few minutes back, as you have seen, I was taking picture with Father Bogdan Helata, who was in Russian captivity almost not 2 years, but 1 year and 8 months. He is a real witness of the Church, and he is a real confessor of the faith. Since 2022, Russia began to invade Ukraine officially, and as you know, unofficially since 2014, when Crimean Peninsula was occupied and 2 regions on the eastern part of Ukraine, Donetsk and Lugansk, were occupied. As you know, we had simple peace, which means war was frozen just for a few years, and right now from 2022, with new forces, Putin invade Ukraine. Many people were killed, many women were raped, many Ukrainian children were taken from Ukraine to Russia. It's a huge tragedy for Ukrainian people. Many wounds, many amputees, many those soldiers and civilians who are disappeared without trace. So their mothers, wives, they don't know to pray for their health or to pray for their disease. We are looking for a just peace. What does it mean, just peace? That occupier, we know who is occupier, Russia, will be punished by whole world. And we, Ukraine, as a victim of this war, will be justified.
Yeah, Your Eminence, we are very sorry to hear about the tragedies Ukraine is facing, and we assure you our prayers, and we assure you of our support. The whole world knows that you are at the receiving end, and as you said, the just reward may come sooner or later, we are sure about. And how do the Catholic Church respond to Ukrainian situation? We would like to know that.
We have received a huge support, especially in humanitarian help from around the world, as well from Australia. They have organized like Christmas appeal. They have collected money, and I have sent this money to organize some food packages. So, for example, 1 food packages was distributed between families on the front line. And thanks to these packages, people are still alive. As well, many Catholic organizations, Caritas, Catholic missions, many charity groups from around the world, they are helping, for example, to help in movement of those people who are on front line, to save their lives, as well to those people who lost their parents, their homes. Ukrainian Catholic Church organized some movable buildings to help those people who has lost everything during this terrible war. So the role general of the Catholic Church around the world is huge. Not only in this humanitarian support, but first of all by prayer, because as you know, many countries are supporting us by prayer as well. Here in Rome, Holy Father tries every Wednesday, as well every Sunday, not only to pray for just peace in Ukraine, but as well to remind the whole world that what is going on right now in this moment, where Ukraine in winter time, many people can be frozen because, as you know, Russians are attacking by drones, missiles, electrical plants, civilians.
Yeah.
They are killing civilians. They are fighting with civilians. They are not fighting with army or soldiers, which means it's like genocide of our people.
Yeah, very sorry to hear it again, Your Eminence. It's comforting that the Catholic world is trying its level best to cope up with the situation. Very comforting. And before we conclude, our friends and families will be curious that Ukrainian Cardinal serving at Australia. Would you please explain to us your mission in Australia?
I have changed my predecessor, former Bishop of the Ukrainian Catholic Church in Australia, Bishop Peter Stasjuk, who is as well Redemptorist. Right now he is in Canada, back to his homeland. At this stage, we are not huge by numbers, but we are huge by territories. Because, as you know, our eparchy covers Australia, New Zealand, and Oceania. We have 10 parishes, we have 11 missions. Our ministry, especially to our people, looks like more missionary because we should spend a lot of time flying to reach our people, to reach our congregations, our communities, which is really work of Redemptorists.
Oh, yeah.
To deliver word of God to those who are too far away. At this time we have 17 active priests, we have 5 retired priests, 6 deacons, as well we have 9 sister basilians. As I said before, we are not huge by numbers, but we are huge by territories, so which means this ministry very important.
Thank you so much for your time and sharing, Your Eminence. Dear friends, here we have met the youngest Cardinal of the Catholic Church, Cardinal Mykola Bychok, CSsR. We are very happy and proud to have him with us, but make sure that you say a little prayer for him. Though he may be youngest, he may be the youngest, but the responsibility he carries is enormous, as we have heard from him, sharing about the Ukrainian and about his mission in Australia. And this is Father Prince Thekkepuram for Scala News from Rome. Thank you very much.